I made this video to speak directly to the significant others of those who purchase tools to make a living. So if you're a mechanic, or you're a body man, or a maintenance worker, or a contractor, go grab your lady friend and have her sit down and watch this with you, or shoot her the link, because they're going to answer the question, why does your mechanic, husband or boyfriend, spend so much money on tools? Now, I know that not every mechanic is a man, and they don't all have domestic relationships with women, but typically that's what we find the case to be in the industry, so I'm going to address you all as such, and if you have a problem with the pronouns I'm using, just remember, Pride Month was in June. So, first off, keep in mind that your mechanic is a professional, and he's in a profession that requires him to purchase his own tools. And you may wonder, well, why don't shop owners buy tools for the mechanics to use? Well, because theft can be prevalent in some shops, and it can be prohibitively expensive to continually rebuy the tools that get stolen. And even if theft wasn't rampant, generally speaking, people don't care about other people's tools the way they care about their own. So breakage and loss can increase as well. Now, maybe your man isn't one to steal. Maybe he's very cautious and doesn't break things, and maybe he's very conscientious. But maybe he's not. Regardless, the onus being on the shop owner is going to increase his expenses in order to maintain the tools for his people. And that's simply where it stands today. So as a result, everyone has to buy their own tools. For a professional to earn as much money as he possibly can with tools, he has to buy professional grade quality. And it includes purchasing from retailers who sell top quality items. They provide top quality service to keep the mechanic productive and earning money, and that comes at a cost. A shop will generally look to spend as little as possible on tools if they're the ones who have to buy tools for the mechanics, so they probably won't buy from a pro-grade retailer. And that's going to inhibit the mechanic's productivity, and that's not in anyone's best interest. So what happens when a tool at a shop breaks if the shop is the one who bought the tool? Well, it takes time to buy a replacement or get a warranty taken care of, and it wastes valuable time that should be spent fixing vehicles. Would you want your car sitting for longer than it had to at a shop because the owner has to go replace a wrench or some broken sockets or some pliers? If it adds a day to your repair, do you think that's fair? Well, even if you did, doesn't it seem a bit amateur? Number two, to work professionally and be considered a professional, mechanics have to act accordingly. Among other things, how he buys his tools matters. To be professional grade means his tools are excellent quality and can be serviced quickly by his tool vendor. His vendor must also be able to provide knowledge and expertise about which tools are the right ones for the job and steer the mechanic's purchasing decision so that he gets exactly what he needs and he's happy with his purchase. And if you think mechanics are all the same so that the level of knowledge and support doesn't matter, think again. An automotive mechanic needs different knowledge, skills, and tools than, say, a diesel mechanic, an aviation mechanic, a contractor, heavy equipment mechanic, and within those fields are specialty jobs like air conditioner technicians, diagnostic technicians, heavy repair mechanics, paint and body fabricators, and the list goes on. So the level of knowledge, experience, and expertise that a good tool vendor needs to address all those industries doesn't come cheap. He has to learn as much as he can, not only about the things that he sells, but also what his customers need so he can give them good, useful information that they're willing to pay for. Number three, the type of vendor that should provide the highest quality service can only be a tool truck vendor like myself, or Matco, or Snap-on, or Mac, or Cornwell. The quality of these tools and the high level of service comes at a higher price than, say, a brick and mortar store or a discount online retailer. Why? Well, top quality products and services have to be paid for. All tool trucks trade on providing a more valuable purchasing option than any other tool purchasing option that a mechanic has. Since the cost of goods and services are higher, to make it easier to pay for them, tool trucks offer their own lines of credit to each individual mechanic. This is called truck credit. These credit lines are based entirely on the trust between the tool truck owner and the mechanic, which means they're high-risk credit lines. With high risk comes a high price. Because tool trucks are not licensed lending institutions, they cannot charge interest, and that's another reason tool truck prices are as high as they are. When a dirtbag mechanic skips out on a tool truck while owing him $400, the unfortunate reality is that all the paying customers are the ones who must cover that cost, plus the cost of their own purchases. Number 4, the tool truck culture. This might seem frivolous, but it's very important. A good tool truck is a place where a mechanic can learn about new tools he can use to make more money. It's a place he can get knowledge and information from his tool guy. On a tool truck, he can relax for a few minutes, get away from the pressures of his job. He can blow off steam by venting to his tool guy about something that's bothering him. And imagine your mechanic working on a 100-degree day, no AC in the shop, is getting dirty and sweaty, and then the tool truck pulls up. It can be an absolute oasis where he can get some cool air, have a cold drink of water, grab a snack, make a payment on his account, replace a broken screwdriver, tell some fart jokes, and feel refreshed before going back to the job. So the tool truck is an important connection. It's a link in the chain of the automotive repair industry the mechanics rely on for both professional and personal reasons. 5, specialty tools are an ever-evolving industry. New vehicle technologies are always emerging. Hybrid cars, all-electric vehicles, government emissions regulations, vehicle manufacturing standards are just some of the things that dictate the tools your mechanic needs. Some manufacturers have proprietary designs that dictate and force mechanics to purchase tools just to work on their cars. For example, refrigerants for newer cars have changed so the air conditioning systems need expensive equipment that the old equipment cannot service. The EPA mandated new water-based paints to replace the oil-based paints that body shops used. So painters need to buy new paint spray guns. Insurance companies, believe it or not, mandated that collision shops use separate tools to service aluminum body panels that are ever increasing in the market. So along with the tools they needed to service steel body panels, they now have to buy additional tools just to service aluminum. And there's a specific socket, for example, that was used to remove bed bolts on 2017 Ford trucks. And there's always a new design from a manufacturer that's going to require a specialty tool for that particular job. And the reasons that your man buys more tools are absolutely endless. So with each new regulation or rule comes a new tool, and with that comes more expense. Number 6, working faster means earning more money. Mechanics, technicians, painters, bodymen usually work on what's called a flag hour rate or commission. This means that they get paid a certain amount to work on a vehicle regardless of how long it actually takes. These times are dictated by industry labor guides. So let's say a mechanic gets paid $25 per labor hour and is assigned a brake job on a particular make and model of a car that the labor guide says should take 2 hours. The mechanic will get paid $50 for that job. So if it takes him 4 hours, he's only making $12.50 an hour. But if he can do that same job in an hour, he's making $50 an hour. Usually, tools that are the correct ones will keep him working efficiently. They'll minimize his time on that job, and that maximizes how much he can do in a day. The more vehicles he works on, the more money he'll make. It's very common for a mechanic to flag 60 or 70 hours in a week while only working 40 actual hours. And experienced mechanics can flag 100 hours a week and get paid $30 to $40 a labor hour. To get that good and make that kind of money takes years of skill, knowledge, and experience. It also requires the best tools for the work that he does. So spending more for the right specialty tool for a particular job can greatly reduce the time he spends on that job, allowing him to work on more cars and earn more money. 7, the payoff after years of building a meaningful career. There's a saying that a mechanic will always have, a tool bill. And there is some truth to that. But after buying enough tools to perform his job well and grow his career, most mechanics' tool buying will slow down and they'll be earning very good money. If he's been buying quality tools, they'll last a very long time and they'll eventually all be paid for. It's an investment in his career, and no career can be built for free. Number 8, please don't undo a deal. If your mechanic has agreed to purchase or already has purchased something from his tool truck vendor, please don't jump online to see how much less he could have spent somewhere else. We all know that tool trucks are the most expensive buying option he has, and with that should come unmatched service, support, and financing. But more than that, the tool truck owner is just one person with a family that he has to provide for. Unlike a nameless, faceless China-based Amazon seller or a big box store or a deep discount online retailer, every sale matters deeply to that tool truck owner. Every single sale. He works endlessly to build the relationships with mechanics so that he will be the one they choose to buy from. Something that might seem simple, like canceling a special order, can have a significant negative impact on the tool vendor. For example, let's say a mechanic orders a $1,500 welding machine, and it comes in a large, heavy container. Okay? These deals are done on a handshake. The mechanic asks the tool guy for the welder, and then the tool guy has to buy it from his supplier. He then pays for it and has it shipped to him so that he can then deliver it to the mechanic. Now let's say you find that online for $400 less and insists that he returns it to the tool guy. Now the tool guy would be burdened with taking a sizable sale off his books, and to a tool guy a $1,500 sale is a very nice sale indeed. He has to purchase the proper packing material to send it back to his supplier, and packing material for large, heavy items is not cheap or easy to come by. He has to pay for return shipping, which can cost at least $50 for a heavy item. He is then going to receive a partial credit from his supplier because he'll have to pay a 20% restocking fee when he returns it. Not to mention the trust that we talked about earlier between the tool guy and the mechanic takes a hit. Because this was done on good faith that the deal would go through and both parties would uphold their end of the bargain. So who's going to pay for all that? Does the mechanic pay for it? All the costs associated returning the tools and the savings of buying it somewhere else are going to evaporate if your man has to pay for it. So where's the benefit? Allow your guys to make the purchases on the tool truck as they see fit and trust their judgment. Even though it's going to cost a little bit more, in the end, there is value there because they're getting something for their money. So my best advice is to work with your mechanic to decide on the budget that you can live within. If that means he can only afford to spend $50 a week on tool trucks, his tool truck vendors can absolutely work with that and keep him in the tools that he needs to continue to earn money and grow his career. Plan for his future together. Learn where he wants to take his career so you'll know if he'll need to buy, say, an expensive diagnostic tool in a year or 2 or 5. Will he want to specialize in a particular technology like electric vehicles, hybrids, over-the-road trucks, or transit buses? Maybe he'll want to work on fleet trucks for UPS or FedEx or waste management. These decisions will determine what tools he needs and how much money he'll have to spend to gear up for whatever phase of his career comes next. So please, plan with him. Be part of his professional growth and manage your finances together. Learn a bit about his industry so you can support him by understanding his career path, his goals, and the costs and the rewards that come with it. He will deeply appreciate your effort, your interest, and your support, and he'll love you all the more for it. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave comments, ask questions. If there's a subject I didn't address, I'm happy to shoot another video or answer your question in the comments, whatever the case may be. And be sure to jump on a live stream that we have occasionally, because it's a great time to not only ask questions of me, but of other people who are also in the industry. And do me a favor and tell him from me to use the tool. Don't be one.